was a strong and friendly fellow with the name of Campanella. He was someone special, I could see right off the bat. There was something...
Webcasting from the Little Bell Publishing Studios in Rockton, Illinois, this is The Mortgage Messenger with host Jim Campanella. Today's podcast, we're going to discuss a law that has recently affected you if you have any credit cards. Known as the Credit Card Accountability, Responsibility, and Disclosure Act of 2009, or simply the CARD Act. The law, for the most part, makes it easier for people to understand the rules that affect their credit card usage. However, there are some strange quirks about this law. I discovered this when I was looking up some information on a different podcast, and after reviewing this information, I decided it was worth sharing with you. So let's begin. The law mandates that the credit card issuers give you a 21-day grace period instead of a 14-day one. That's not a big difference when you take into account the time it takes for you to receive your bill and then mail your payment. Unless, of course, you're paying your bill online, then you pick up a few extra days. The CARD Act also requires that credit card issuers give you 45 days notice before making any changes to the credit card terms instead of what was customarily 15 days. Now that sounds like a good deal. It makes it a longer period by 30 days. However, it's been determined that 0.5% actually read the notices they receive from the credit card companies. So the fact that they're giving you an extra 30 days probably doesn't make much of a difference, because they're going to make changes to your program anyway. Also, and this is really a quirk in the system, does not require that the credit card issuer notify you if they're going to reduce your credit line. Now, I've had many customers who come to me recently within the last few months stating that their credit lines have been cut. At no point do the credit card issuers have to notify you of this. The only exception to that is if they cut your lines due to your FICO score. Then they have to send you an adverse action letter, as they always had to. But they can freely just determine that your credit line should be cut and lower your availability of credit. This has a direct effect on your ability to get a mortgage, because 30% of your FICO score, and we're going to talk more about FICO scores in a different podcast, but 30% of your FICO score is your credit, the amount of credit you used compared to the amount of credit you have available. So if you owe X and now all of a sudden your credit line has been reduced to Y and you have a higher percentage of credit used, your credit score is going to go down. So this CARD Act really can affect you negatively. Another change created by this law is in the appearance of your monthly statement. You should have noticed by now that on each of your monthly statements there is now a box or a chart that shows you how long it will take to pay off your debt if you make the minimum payments. The law had certainly the consumer in mind by giving him this information and making it more full disclosure of really what does credit cost you. I think one of the biggest changes this law creates is for those from 18 to 21. Now, if you're below the age of 21, you need to have a cosigner to establish credit. The only exception to that is if you can prove your income is sufficient enough to make the payments on the credit card debt. I remember when I was 18, shortly after my birthday, I received an application, I think it was a pre-approved application actually, for a mobile credit card. Shortly thereafter I received a Sears credit card. Well, those days are now over. Teenagers from the ages of 18 to 21 are going to have to rely on a lot tighter credit standards for them to obtain credit. This is not necessarily a good thing, simply because part of your credit report and part of your credit score is based on length of time you're in the credit system. So if now more and more people won't be obtaining credit until the age of 21, they're 3 years less in the system. So if they're looking to buy a house, say at 24 or 25 years old, previously they would have had almost a 7 or 10 year history of credit. Now they're only going to have possibly as little as a 3 year history. So this law is going to affect people who are coming out of college and wanting to get their life started in purchasing homes or obtaining credit. For additional information about the CARD Act, you can visit our website at www.mortgagemessenger.net, where under the tab Useful Resources I've created a link to the Federal Reserve site. Should you have any suggestions or thoughts about future podcasts, please email me at mortgagemessenger@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.
I can't forget you, Campanella. You're still the MVP within my heart. You're still the MVP within my heart.